You can call me Mystic Mac because I predict these things.
Manuel Torres takes on Drew Dober this Saturday in the co-main event of UFC Fight Night Mexico City. And I think this is going to be a banger on the feet. Both these guys, very exciting fighters at 155 pounds. Bring it each and every fight, kill or be killed, looking to put a lot of damage on their opponents. So I think this one's going to be really fun, really exciting fight. Manuel Torres coming off of a loss to Ignacio Bahamondes back in September at the Sphere. It was a fun fight while it lasted, but Manuel Torres ended up got put down several times in that fight. He kicks well, mixes stances, pretty crisp striker, decent power, a lot of finishing potential, killer instinct there, but he was just getting caught coming in against Ignacio Bahamondes. He got dropped by like a right head kick as he was coming in, throwing his combination. Got back up, got dropped again, coming in, throwing a left hand. Ended up getting up and then got dropped again badly with coming in with the same combination, overextending on his left hand, got put down by Ignacio Bahamondes. So took a lot of damage in that fight. I know it was back in September, so what are we looking at? About half a year's worth of time that he's taken off. Kind of his first loss in the UFC was on a decent run, including Dana White's Contender Series. Was on a 3-fight winning streak, all by finish. So very promising prospect in Manuel Torres taking on Drew Dober, who's been around the game for a long time. I'm going to have to go with Drew Dober in this one. I just think his experience and his technical abilities on the feet is going to be too much for Manuel Torres, who's shown to be chinny, who's shown to be a little sloppy on the feet as of late. He's been able to take out guys like, Nicholas Mota and Chris Duncan, but Chris Duncan was catching him at the beginning of that fight from what I remember. And I think it was the first exchange that he caught, that Chris Duncan caught him. He eventually pulled the guillotine, swept him, got the back, and got the choke, which was nice against somebody like Chris Duncan, who we've seen has got very good jiu-jitsu, very good finishing potential on the ground. But Nicholas Mota, same thing, hurting him on the feet before he caught him. So I don't think these guys are near the level of Drew Dober in terms of striking and what he brings on the feet. Drew Dober's got a kind of a spotty record, 27-14, but he's fought, the who's who of 155 pounds. I mean, you name him, he's beat him. Coming off of a loss to Gene Silva, was a short notice fight. I think Gene Silva took that one on short notice, but again, switch up for Drew Dober. He was planning on fighting Mike Davis, who's also kind of a striker, but also wrestles pretty heavily. And took that fight on short notice, got stopped by a really bad cut, but he was having his moments in that fight against Gene Silva. And I think Gene Silva is, a future champ at 145 pounds, mark my words. And, Drew Dober was, landing his kicks, landing to the body, getting these combinations going. Superman punch at one time that rocked Gene Silva. So he's shown that he has the ability to still hang with these top-tier fighters, these elite guys. And he was getting beat up in that fight. He took like 2 spinning back elbows from Gene Silva that put him on the ground, but was still in it in the third round, coming forward, looking to land shots and win the fight, but just the doctors got called in to stop it via cut. But before that, lost to Renato Boicano, just got out grappled, but he was landing the better shots, looked better on the feet. Knocked out Ricky Glenn before that, lost to Matt Frivola before that, was piecing up Matt Frivola in that fight. Matt Frivola just looked kind of like he was frozen on the feet, just with the way that Drew Dober was coming in and his aggression. He just really biting on the feints, just wasn't looking very good. Ended up catching him with the right hand and putting him out. But in all of these losses, Drew Dober was looking good and was looking to be the better person on the feet, other than the Gene Silva loss. But that's Gene Silva; he's a whole nother level. So I just think Drew Dober, I think he's the better striker. I don't think Manuel Torres is gonna be able to get him to the ground if he tries to. Drew Dober, very stocky, huge legs, good hips. I don't see him really being able to get taken to the ground. I see him landing the better kicks. He goes all levels, jabs to the body, throws head kicks, Superman punches. I mean, you name it, Drew Dober can throw it, and has a lot of power, very good technique, and a really good chin, minus, obviously these knockouts and the damage he's taken as of late. Takes a shot really well. He was taking shots from Gene Silva pretty well, ones that I think would put out a lot lesser fighters. So I think Drew Dober will be able to catch Manuel Torres coming in. He comes in and he throws decent combos and they're fast, but he kind of leaves his chin in the air, and at times he overextends. And I feel like somebody like Drew Dober, who's got tons of experience, is a very elite striker. I feel like he can take advantage of somebody like Manuel Torres coming in like that. He's coming off of a knockout loss. Manuel Torres is. So is Gene Silva, kinda. Or so is Drew Dober to Gene Silva, kinda. He did take a lot of damage in that fight. Didn't really get put out, though. Manuel Torres has fought more recently. He fought in September. Drew Dober fought back in July. But decent amount of time these guys are taking off. I knew Drew Dober took a lot of damage. Otherwise, I'd like to see him back in there a little bit sooner. He is 36 years old, but not looking like he's 36. I mean, he's still in there, competing at the highest level, giving Gene Silva a run for his money. Made a competitive fight with Ronaldo Moicano. Beat Bobby Green, Rafael Alves, Terrence McKinney. Like, he's only losing to the Gene Silvas, Moicanos. Granted, Matt Favola, not the best loss, but Brad Riddell, Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush. Losing to really good guys, and I don't necessarily think Manuel Torres is up there yet, as of yet. Losing to Bahamondes didn't look very good. Beat Chris Duncan, Nicholas Mota. Like, he doesn't have very many high-profile wins and hasn't been fighting the best competition, honestly. So I'm going to go with Drew Dober. I think he gets this one done on the feet. I think he gets the knockout. I haven't looked at the odds yet, but Drew Dober he's a minus 105, so we're looking like we're evens here. Minus 115 for Manuel Torres. So I like those odds. I like my chances with Drew Dober. I think he's the better striker, has the better chin, has more power. He's going to be at a disadvantage from a height perspective. Manuel Torres is 5'10", has a 73-inch reach, and Drew Dober is 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. But I think he's going to do just fine getting in on Manuel Torres. Getting in under his strikes and his combinations. Drew Dober usually pushes the pace pretty well. We'll look to push Manuel, push him back, but can also fight off the back foot. So I can see him catching Manuel Torres as he comes in, kind of overextending on his combinations and leaving his chin in the air. So I got Drew Dober in this one by KO round 1 or 2. Thanks.